Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're breaking down our picks for the top 5 and one worst level 5 wizard spells.
Yes.
Level 5. This was a tough one for me.
Mm,
There's a lot of good level 5 spells.
true.
Um,
We're definitely getting into that tier of play where it's like all of a sudden these spells are varying on what they do and their impact on the world becomes a little bit like, whoa, that's some effects and words that I haven't seen before. It's pretty cool.
yeah, I feel like I wasn't varied enough with my picks. Uh, because a couple of them do similar things. But anyway, we'll get into it.
Indeed.
Why don't you begin? What made the bottom of your list?
All
Again,
right.
disclaimer, Sam ranks his. I just did my top 5 in no particular order.
Mm-hmm. My starter for my fifth level ones that I looked through and I was like, oh, I like this spell a lot. It's Wall of Force. It's my fifth best wizard fifth level spell. This spell is baller. You get a cool little, sometimes hemispheric, sometimes free floating wall. It is just a big indestructible thing. It's a wall, and it's the walliest wall that ever walled. You put it down, and it's a wall, and things don't go through the wall, and things bounce off the wall, and nothing can deal with it because it's just a wall. And I think it's neat. This is a spell that has like some weird applications where you can make a giant ramp of force. You can make a giant like hemisphere of we all duck on for cover and just hope the dragon leaves us alone for 10 minutes. Like it's a neat little bubble or divider. There's gonna be a lot of times where you're gonna be finding weird, cool ways to arrange the panels to get exactly what you want out of it. I think Wall of Force is super sweet. It's definitely not the most powerful fifth level spell, obviously, but it's one that I'm like, if I'm a wizard and I want to do the wall thing, this is probably the only wall spell I'm taking because like God, it's the walliest wall, and I like that for that reason. It just if I need a wall, it's a wall.
Well, I too have a wall spell on my list, but it is not Wall of Force.
Not Wall of Force. What wall spells on your list, Bob?
Oh, don't pretend you don't know.
Hit me with it.
Wall of Stone.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're here to see the difference between our walls is mine's indestructible and yours is for a entirely different game where you build a city over the course of several generations and eventually
Also,
have a
it's
society.
permanent. The permanence is because whether or not I'm building a city with I just like something I can cast into existence and maybe carve my initials into and
Mhm.
bring my great grandchildren back to say I built this wall.
Yes, your bard's great grandchildren can come back and see, yeah, great grandpa, he spent a fifth level spell slot and made this happen.
Yes, it's still there.
It is.
Your wall of force.
Wall of Force only lasts 10 minutes. You're right.
I
The Wall of
know,
Stone's going to be there
and
way longer.
you're hoping the dragon will go away.
Like, so like
Dragon's got shit to do.
Listen, maybe he does. I don't know what the dragon's doing with his life. Listen, I definitely think. Oh,
You all right over there?
yeah. Sorry, my everything's fine. My green screen just almost fell on me. It's no big deal.
If you had cast a wall of stone instead and painted it green,
That's a great
you'd have
point.
no issues.
This is a green wall of force that you don't see me recasting every 10 minutes. I have a lot of fifth level slots to burn. I will say you definitely don't need both Wall of Force and Wall of Stone, and I will definitely agree. Wall of Stone is cool. The permanence of it is nice. 95% of the time, if what you want is a wall, Wall of Stone is definitely good enough. It's going to be very niche opportunities where Wall of Force is like that much better. Like, yes, you can break through a Wall of Stone. It's a huge pain in the ass. You're going to get your wall effect out of it that you want. And it also is like, yeah, you can build up a neat little settlement. You can dig yourselves in. It's a cool spell. I like Wall of Stone. Wall of Stone is pretty cool. It's not as... I like the words immune to all damage, and that is what Wall of Force says. I'm a big fan of those words. I also like that, like, Wall of Force it's harder to conceptualize, and to me that gives us more room for it to be magical, where Wall of Stone is like, yeah, you build a neat little Minecraft structure, like, look at those little palisades, and you put your blocks around, and yeah, you got it's definitely nifty. I definitely understand why it's here. It's perfectly serviceable spell. I don't think there's any reason people shouldn't take it, but It just doesn't make my top 5.
Oh no, that's fine.
Is that your
Well,
number 1? Like, if you had to pick, is that your
no,
favorite
no,
spell?
that'd probably be number 5.
Mm,
It's not even listed in my arbitrary listing as number 1, but
mm,
no, it wouldn't be. It's
fair.
there are cooler 5th level spells, but as far as wall spells go, if we ever do top wall spells, that's probably gonna be mine. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
We should. I definitely think that's a video that should exist.
Oh, I'm
We should even
sure
just like tier ranking the wall spells. What are the S tier walls? What are the F tier walls? I think that'd be fun.
we'll do that eventually.
All right. My
What
next
else you got?
one, yeah, dominate person.
Yeah, that made
Oh
my list.
my lord, is this a good spell? Have you ever wanted to be like, I want to summon something, but I don't want to have to make a new thing. I'd rather just be the enemy. That's what dominate person does. It's like, what if the enemy were your teammate? And oh my god, is that powerful?
Yeah, that throws off the balance of an encounter.
Wildly so. Yeah, this is my number 4 still. We are like, it is powerful, but it's like, it's situational enough that it's not going to warp the game all the way around it. This isn't something that's like your DM can't account for. It definitely makes it much harder to have humanoid villains that are challenging in the upper tiers. It definitely makes it so like, I really can't throw a human paladin at them with the 9th level features because the wizard will just just dominate them, and all of a sudden he's now murdering all of the monsters that were sent there with him. I think it's a really fun, powerful spell. I would advocate this is only for players. If you're a DM, God, I don't think a lot of people necessarily handle being dominated well, or their DM really navigates the sort of pain points of it. It can be miserably unfun to watch your character kill your friends because you failed a single wisdom saving throw, but it can be very fun to watch your DMs pretend monsters kill each other instead. It's definitely a better use case for it. I would absolutely advocate for this being something that's really player only.
I don't
Because
know.
I
I
think
mean,
it's that kind of effect.
if the DM is taking everything into account and gauging their players' attitudes and whatnot, and
Yes.
they do this, and it leads to a close fight that they ultimately survive, then yeah, I think it's all right. Not something to break out every time, but
Yeah.
every now and again.
That definitely for sure. I think like even at tables where it does not have feel bads, even at tables that do like enjoy this is so cool, I get to turn against my allies and punch them a bunch right now. I would still say you don't do that all that often. You do
No,
that
not
once or
all that
twice a
often. But
campaign.
I mean, even if it's not, they're not attacking, but it's forcing your barbarian to grapple your paladin until the rest of your party takes care of the enemies. That's yeah.
Yeah. This spell also, I'll quickly say, there's room for interpretation unless you use your action to take precise control of the target, and I think that's neat. I think this is one of those rare cases where, if you give it like general, because you can give it a general command and it'll follow it to the best of its abilities, and it's charmed by you, but like maybe it also recognizes these people were my friends. I don't want to necessarily go all out here, so maybe it chooses to bash with its shield instead of attack with its greatsword, right? Maybe your commands aren't that specified. And this gives you sort of a window where you can say, no, I do get to do it exactly what I want if I use my action. Or it could just be like a better polymorph where it does mostly what I want with a little bit of intervention. I don't have to spend any more resources on it, spend more actions on it. And I think that little back and forth is pretty cool. I think there's some neat decisions we made here. It all
And
around makes the spell nifty to me.
there's the upcasting for longer durations.
Yeah.
How far does that go?
Up to 8 hours with a 8th level spell slot.
Yeah, that's for out of combat situations. Also,
Or even just
nifty.
be like, hey, we want a new paladin to bring around with us. Dominated. And then it's used in and out of combat. Why not?
All right, yeah. For all those reasons, dominate person also made my list.
All right, what's next up on yours then? After dominate person.
This is when I said they were a little bit similar. I also chose hold monster.
That's my number 1, actually. I think hold monster might be the best
number
5th
one?
level spell.
Yeah.
It
But,
might
yeah.
lose its place to like conjuration magic at some tables, but this spell's a house.
Yeah, like dominate person, you're taking an enemy out of the fight.
It's better than that.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, we talked about this with hold person. You got them frozen there, and everybody's beating on them, and there you go.
Yeah, paralyzation. That's what this does, and holy shit, is paralyzed good. Do you want your auto crits? Because this is how you get auto crits. that is like, it's not going to live long enough to outsave this, is what's basically happens. If it fails the first save, everyone goes, oh, great, we kill it. And then everyone just lays into it and it immediately dies. It's a fun moment. I think it's pretty neat also. Like, so let me check. I think Whole Person has the same upcast, but this also has a good upcast on it where you can target more things. So like if you 6th level it, you get an extra slot. Yeah, it's same for the Whole Persons. You get more humanoids, and this gives you more monsters. So this is more anything.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like a multi-target banishment that gives you the ability to crit down if you like over. Oh, it's delicious. Incredible saber die. This thing is yucky good whenever it happens. Now it's a saber die, so sometimes nothing happens. That's kind of a bummer. But
with upcasting it, you mitigate those chances.
Yep. And you don't need more than one thing to get held for this to be great. Like even if this is a pseudo polymorph, right, where you're just like, okay, that thing gets locked down for 2 or 3 rounds while we deal with other things, and then you run over and beat the shit out of it. Oh yeah, that's good.
All right. What else you got?
Okay, so my number 1 was Hold Monster. All I got left are my 2 and 3. My third best is Conjure Elemental. I will feel like I'd be amiss without including some kind of conjuration magic here, and this one happened to get the slot.
All right, yeah. That didn't make my list, but it perhaps should have.
It's really good.
Go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah, most conjuration effects are busted, and this is 5th level. You get an air, fire, or water elemental of your choice, CR 5 or lower in the space. And like you can get a bunch of let me read the exact text. An elemental of 5 or lower appears. It's friendly towards you. It lasts an hour. It's concentration or whatever. If it's broken, it doesn't disappear. Instead, it becomes hostile towards you. So that's a neat little gimmick. But a lot of the time, this is just a way to get an air elemental under your control for an hour. It's a way to get a water elemental under your control for an hour. I honestly probably should have replaced this with one of the new summon spells because I think it's going to be a slightly better version of this. The opportunity to get powerful things under your command for an hour, though, is very good. This is a way that you can have a powerful ally at your disposal whenever you want. It's a conjuration spell. It's going to be powerful. It's going to give you powerful elementals that do powerful things. And yes, a turning hostility is a little bit annoying and could be gargantuanly catastrophically bad, but that also could be very gargantuanly catastrophically fun to be like, yes, the giant earth elemental that I've been commanding to get the rocks beaten off of it by a whole bunch of angry minor dwarves or whatever now sees me and goes, that's the guy that's been getting me beaten up. Oh, it's go Tom, bitch, and he just rolls over and starts pummeling you. Yeah, I love that.
All right, that's a plus for you. That's good.
It is. Makes the spell more fun.
But this isn't one of those. This isn't one of those conjuration spells where you can like get 25 tiny elementals, though, is it?
No, I think when I put it on the list, I was thinking of Conjure Minor Elementals, which again, I would supplement this. I'll even just pull up the summon spells up to get a 5th level one in a second, but that should be in this slot because anything that summons a beast or a monster that you get multi-attack with that you can command, it is powerful, especially for the 5th level slot version.
Okay, because that's what I was thinking when you said conjuration. So yeah, as the spell that you picked, I feel better about not picking it.
Yeah, Conjure Elemental is good. It's not warping the game by any stretch of the imagination. All right, what else you got, Bob?
Oh, all right. I don't know. Let's take a look at my list. I got animate objects.
I have that. That's my number 2.
Is it? All right.
It might deserve the number 1 slot. It's really good.
Yeah, but for the reasons I was just talking about, having a bunch of little things attacking is fun for me.
Yeah. This is like the actual Conjure Minor Elementals version of this. Pro tip, tiny is the best, and it's the best by a lot. Like, it's the best by a not...
That's the reason it made the list.
Yeah. You get... What's the exact number? As a bonus action, you mentally command any number of creatures. You summon... Oh God, I forget there's a table with this. Jesus Christ. It's a robust spell. You can bonus action mentally command all of them. Huge count is 8. Come to life.
All right, tiny.
10 non-magical objects. So you get 10 tiny things. And 10 tiny things that each get a 1d or 4+4 hit is really good.
10 tiny. It feels like
It's
a shotgun blast.
It really does. It actually also works with small. Small also only count as one, and they do 1d6 plus, or sorry, they do 1d8 plus 2. So you're trading like 2 guaranteed damage for 2 maximum damage, like the d8 versus the d4. So the tiny ones are still probably better, although the small ones have slightly more HP. None of that matters because what really matters is you're making 10 attacks a turn, and
Yeah.
that is really good. And also, like, there's other fun things you can do with this, right?
Oh, sure. I mean, they don't have to be attacking things. You get them to do whatever you want. Uh, I'm not sure what those things are. I guess they could
Your dishes.
cook dinner for your imprisoned house guest.
Sure. This could very much be our guest situation for Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
right? Like you just have a bunch of little handy tools around doing a bunch of stuff. I love the idea of like animating an armoire or a dinner table or something like really big, and just it flips up and does a bunch of nonsense and starts whacking things, but everyone's taking cover behind it. You're using it as like both an ally and another source. Not nearly as good as the tiny or small animation stuff, but still quite powerful. Yeah, it seems very solid to me. Like absolutely besting show for like the summoning stuff that wizards get at this tier.
What if you animated an anchor to attack the hull of a ship?
That sounds cool as hell. I love that so much. Does it work? I mean, it's got a range and stuff on it, right? So as long as you're within 120 feet of the anchor, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Get it. That sounds so cool. Also,
right,
I figured out the reason I picked Conjure Elemental. It's because wizards don't get a summon spell at 5th level, so that's why it's here. Because it's their summon spell they get at 5th level, and it's definitely good enough that looking at the rest of this list, I'm like, yeah, this makes sense to me. It's definitely not gonna be Enervation, which is my worst, but Bob, that's all yours, right?
We're not going, huh?
That's all yours, right?
No.
Oh, you got one more?
I think. Well, let me. Oh yeah, I got one more. I got. We talked about this recently. Arcane Hand.
Oh my god. I didn't scrub it. I want Conjure Elemental off my list. I was wrong. Bump everything down. Arcane Hand's #1. I don't know how I missed it.
All right.
Absolutely. Spells cracked. I thank you.
I have a
thank
confession.
you for helping me with this, Bob.
I have a confession. It wasn't on my list either until about 10 minutes ago.
And it deserves it. The spell slaps, literally. God.
I forgot what I had in place of. Oh, you're gonna hate me for this. I had Far Step in place of this.
It's fun. It's not
fun.
good.
No, it's fun. That's what I cared about.
Sure. This spell's also really fun.
Arcane, yes, it's got everything. It's got fun. It's got power. It's got versatility. Yeah, Arcane Hand.
Versatility.
You can beat enemies. You can squeeze them or throw them around or shove them. And I mean, yeah, just shoving might be my favorite.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that you can shove in any direction. I love that it doesn't have to be like horizontal. Like you just yeet things into the air 30-foot diagonal and just let them fall. I think that's super fun.
That's fun, but I don't find you're going to get as much bang for your buck with falling damage as you would just pushing them into something harmful.
Or pushing them off a cliff. And
or then you get quite a bit from falling damage.
Yeah. I love that 30 feet is enough that you're finally actually getting into the pushing that matters as far as like cliffs and ledges and stuff goes, and a lot more realistically, which is where I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be always good. And then of course, like you just said, into a blade barrier it goes, right and back into the blender, just beat it back and forth in between, a wall of fire and a blade barrier and
or a blade barrier that's right off the edge of a cliff.
Add a lot of insult to injury.
Yeah.
It's just like a little carpet of blades. They just fall off and then get shredded by the blade barrier. And then if they survive that for some reason, they fall through it and have to die off the ground. Yeah, that seems fun.
Oh, that's horrible.
Kill, but
yeah.
That's just the push, though.
Yes.
We just gushed about the push, and this spell does more things. It does 3 more things.
I even like the interposing hand.
Interposing is super neat.
That's niche case uses, I guess, but they could. Yeah, there's fun to be had there.
I think it's gonna pop up enough that you're gonna be like, yeah, this was just good. It keeps itself in between you and something else. It doesn't let it move past it. There's no saves or anything. If it's a strength lower than 26, you'd be like, no.
Strength lower than 26. That's so huge.
Yeah, that's great. You can just be like, yeah, sorry, Frost Giant only 24. That's amateur numbers. Get out of here. Half cover. You're not walking any closer to my caster. That's sweet. Now it might beat the shit out of your hand, but like that's fine. That means you're not taking the hits. It's taking the hits and it's doing its job. That's good. I think it's super cool.
All right. Is that all of them? That's all
That was
yours?
all 5 of mine. I amended
And
my list
let me double check my
based off of
list.
your observation.
Yes. All right, yeah, that's all mine too. So, have you already listed your worst?
Oh no, I haven't here. I'll just
Oh,
real quick. My top 5 are now
Oh.
in order: Arcane Hand, Hold Monster, Animate Objects, Dominate Person, Wall of Force. Contra Elemental got booted because Animate Objects does the same thing enough. And
All right, mine were
sweet.
not in order. Animate Objects, Hold Monster, Dominate Person, Arcane Hand, and Wall of Stone.
It's classic. Is this the one we differentiate, or we're the most different on so far?
Is it? Well, we got. All right. I don't even know what your list is. I mean, you changed it. So what do we got that's the same? We both have Hold Monster,
Hold Monster,
Dominate Person.
Yep.
Arcane Hand.
Yep. Animate Objects. Never mind. We're 4 for 5. So yeah.
All right. Yeah. So probably not.
Yeah. We're 4 for 5 on most of these. I think our lowest so far is 3. 3 are the same, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I have to go back and watch them, but
in any case,
perhaps you can tell us in the comments, super fans.
Let us know what is the most disagreed on one, and why is it Web, and why was I super wrong about Web? Because I know I was, and I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, Sam learns things here too.
I do. Nice. It's great. I learn new things every day.
All right. What's your worst?
Legend lore.
All right. I thought you said Innervation. Is that a different list?
Innervation definitely. No, I mentioned Innervation earlier about being a garbage spell, but Innervation at least does something.
All right.
Legend lore is a really expensive encyclopedia.
Yeah, but that does something too. Not something you ever need done.
You could just go get an encyclopedia, right?
Yeah.
It costs 250 gold that it consumes. It eats 250 gold, and all it does is give you a history lesson. Like, what? No, it takes 10 minutes to cast this. Absolutely not. It's not even a ritual spell. You have to spend a spell slot and 250 gold to maybe learn forgotten stories or folk tales about some random guy in history. Absolutely not. No one's casting this.
No, that's
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that should have been a contender for mine. I guess it's another one of those. I didn't even bother with it. I forgot it existed.
I think the ones that you forget exist are truly the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, but mine is similar. Why do these both exist? I got Contact Other Plane.
Contact Other Plane. Oh, I might be wrong again. That might be the worst.
Yes,
one. Contact Other Plane is really bad.
What is it? Yeah, you might get an ambiguous answer, and you might take psychic damage and go insane.
Okay, you're right. This is definitely the worst one. God, I forgot how much this spell sucks.
See, I was struggling to choose between this and Create Spelljamming Helm, but yeah, if you need a Spelljamming Helm,
is Spelljamming Helm 5th level?
Yeah, I think.
Really?
I hope so.
Oh God.
I thought it was lower than. Who cares?
I mean, yeah, that's a great point.
If you need a Spelljamming Helm, then okay, there you go.
I genuinely thought that was a 3rd level spell, and I was like, I guess. Wow, it's a 5th level spell. But that's still not as bad as Contact Other Plane. Holy fuck, is the spell bad?
No, yeah, Contact Other Plane is, I think, more often than not going to hurt you.
I love that the spells, when you cast it, make a DC 15 and save. Like, that's the starting point. You're gonna like, oh no, this can't be good. Whatever's after this can't be good. On a failure, you go insane.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Legend lore is really bad. Don't ever cast Legend lore. Contact Other Plane actively kills you. And at its best is like, maybe? Nah. I don't really feel like answering you today.
I just don't like these kinds of spells. I've said this before.
Yeah. It's the worst version of those. It is unclear as to the information you get. The information you get doesn't have to be truthful from my understanding. You just ask it 5 questions.
I don't know. I didn't read too deeply into it.
Oh my God, it's so bad. And then sometimes it just makes you go insane and deal so much psychic damage to you. It's got a minute cast. At least it's a ritual. But like,
Oh, yay.
God, that's this is bad. Oh, this is so bad. Yeah, the content they're playing is awful. You were right again. I was wrong twice here. And this is definitely one of the cases where this definitely deserves the spot for worst 5th level spell for wizards. This spell, it's terrible. Don't take this one. This one's not it. We have a whole video as to why it's not it. I recommend going and watching it. I remember us just being like, oh, the whole time.
Yeah, I got to remember to link our other videos in the description here.
Do it.
I will eventually. Hopefully by the time this airs.
I believe in you.
All right. Well, that was our breakdown of 5th level spells. Stay tuned for 6th level, and if you haven't already, oh yeah, absolutely, go back. Or I mean, share your thoughts. We're eager to hear, because you haven't been shy about it before.
Yeah, I'm positive these are, as we get into the upper tiers especially, because these are the tiers that everyone has had less experience with typically because they don't play the game much, myself included. My opinions are going to be a little bit like, hypothetically, these are the top 5. I haven't tested much of them. Like, I've definitely played with all 5 of these, so we're still in the mid tier of play. But I haven't played with them as much as the lower tier stuff. So there's definitely going to be a little bit more room to be like, no, actually, I've used this. It's sweet. Or you're entirely wrong. I've cast this spell before. It is not even close to worth the slot. So let us know.
Yeah, I have been enjoying your comments, so please leave some more. All right, and yeah, stay tuned for level 6 and go back and listen to, or go back and watch levels cantrips through 4. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it, a gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.